I'm your host, Logan23, joining me for Across the Void, Chapter 18, Marshals. Now playing as Nova inside the lounge, you fill in several passengers eager to hear more about the Holmes' condition. I assure you, he will be back on his feet in no time. Seems like poor choice of words, considering his legs were just blown off. You're about to retort when the Atlas shakes and you hear a loud scraping noise against the hull of the ship. What in the galaxies was that? I'm not in the mood to die today. Another object hits the Atlas, causing the entire ship to shudder. I've got to get to the bridge. Try not to panic. You rush out of the lounge and through the corridor until you reach the bridge. Sol and Titania are already at their stations. Sol, Titania, status reports. Do we know what we're up against? Sol scrolls through the readouts on his screen. Yes, it appears another ship was attacked. We are currently flying through the debris. Titania momentarily closes her control screen to get a closer look outside. Whoever tore that ship apart made sure almost nothing was left. Pieces are so mangled we can't even tell what's what. After strapping yourself into the captain's chair, you stare out the viewport at the jagged bits of metal spinning wildly in every direction. That's not even a military ship. It's an ordinary transport cruiser. Unthinkable. Who would destroy a civilian vessel? Some despicable scout. Titania gasps and grips her console, all color draining from her face as she stares out at the remains. Titania, what did you see? Your pilot remains motionless, even as scraps slam into the Atlas. Her hands have completely slipped from the flight controls. Ah, Captain Laura, we will be torn apart if no action is taken. I'll use the emergency controls. I can transfer the piloting capabilities to the captain's chair and take over temporarily. Excellent thinking. I have the utmost faith in your abilities. Thanks, Sol. Now let's get out of here. With the flip of a few switches, the piloting screen and manual controls appear before you. Sol, decrease our speed. It's more important to get us out as a safety in one piece than quickly. Decrease by 30%, Captain Laura. You rotate the joystick and spin the data projection arc, angling the ship slightly so a large piece of debris nearly misses you. So far, so good. Another chunk of jagged metal hurled towards you at rapid speed, headed straight for the viewport. Fly into the debris. Yeah, swerve out of the way. Thrusting the joystick to the side, you yank the Atlas to the left. Ugh. And zoom safely out of the path of the debris. Wonderfully executed, Captain Laura. Ooh, I could get used to this. Weaving in and out of the rest of the deadly shards, you manage to guide the Atlas to a patch of empty space. Looking out the viewport, you see that a massive luxury transport ship before you has been completely ripped to shreds. Perhaps some of its passengers managed to survive. You squint at the ruins, noticing strange shapes of several of the smaller pieces. No, they were thrown out before the ship was destroyed. Sol lets out a horrified gasp as he recognizes the bodies for what they are. Who would do such a thing? Trembling as she comes out of her stupor, Titania points to a chunk of debris with a red symbol burned into the metal. They did this. Ah, the void. The void. Titania, is that why you froze? Shaking, she climbs to her feet, backing away from the crimson mark. I'm sorry, I failed in the moment you needed me, Captain. Of course, I don't think that. But she doesn't seem to hear you. She's staring out at the body spinning helplessly in the black void of space. They always leave their victims like this. A sharp buzzing from V makes you jump. You glance over at her in alarm.
Incoming comm! It's EOS!
He's probably asking if we need the marshals to head out there. You turn back to Titania, but she's rushed off the bridge. Okay, V, patching it through. After a quick conversation with your brother, you step off the platform to see Soul's screen. Anything else out there? The area ahead seems clear. I can manage on my own for a little while. You should go check on her. You nod your thanks, then sprint to the corridor after your pilot. Within a few seconds, you find her. She's clutching the wall, barely holding herself upright. You reach out carefully to touch her back. Titania, it's me. Her breathing is ragged. Nova, every time I close my eyes I see it. Their symbol, red like blood. You step closer to her, speaking in a hushed tone as you meet her haunted eyes. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. There's something I've never told anyone, but not here. Maybe we could go somewhere more private. I could use some quiet, a stiff drink, a good distraction, the comforting kind I'd only want from you. Why are you smiling while saying that? Invite her to your quarters for a drink. Tell her to get some rest. Or to get some rest. I'm still needed here, but you should go lie down. Take how much ever time you need. She nods, her eyes filled with sadness. Thanks, I'll do just that. She casts her eyes down as she leaves, avoiding the horror just beyond the viewport. Now playing as Eos, earlier that day. You're using the bar above the bed to do pull-ups while Zeke reads in his bunk below you. 110. As he turns the page, Zeke's eyes flicker to a bead of sweat trailing down your glistening body towards your shorts. Eos, do you plan on doing that much longer? You jump down and poke your head into Zeke's bunk. Why? Is my body distracting you? Let's just say I've forgotten what book I've been reading. Ah, so do you want me to stop? I'm torn between wanting you to read, or between wanting to read and watching you use those muscles more. Suddenly, the atlas shakes as if something crashes into it. Whoa. You're thrown off balance and find yourself reaching out to stop from falling. I crash to the floor. You tumble forward, rolling slightly to minimize the impact. Ugh. A powerful shudder, followed by a scraping sound, grips the atlas. I think it's time we calm the captain. Ion lets out a series of beeps and hurries to your side as you stand up. It looks up at you with frightened expression.
Beep boop, 3, 2.
It's okay, Ion. I'm not gonna let anything bad happen to you. You pat its head, and it wraps its arms around your leg in a hug. Great idea. We need our fighters ready to go if this is more than an uncharted asteroid field. As Ion scampers off to the hangar bay, you throw on your clothes and calm Noah. Zeke crosses to the other side of your quarters with you staring out the viewport. After a couple of minutes of delay, a projection of Nova appears before you. Hey sister, do you know what's going on? Has there been any serious damage? We're out of the worst of it now. Currently running a diagnostic check, but it doesn't look like anything too serious. Nova frowns and glances at something behind her. She lowers her voice to a whisper. I'll fill you in tonight, but you should know, this was a void attack on another transport ship, just like us. How do you... Sorry, I have to go for now. We're not in danger. I promise we'll talk later. As she disconnects the comm and disappears, you notice Zeke staring out the viewport and shock on his face. You kneel on the bench to get a closer look. Floating outside is a jagged piece of metal with a symbol carved into it. What could the void be after on a ship like that? Zeke sits down slowly on the bench, holding onto the table to keep himself from shaking. They used that mark on Matara to signal the beginning of the attack. It was burning through the smoke above the Senate building. The explosion knocked me out. I never saw it. Nova and I searched for you. When we couldn't get through... Excuse me. As he looks up, you notice his violet eyes are glistening with unshed tears. I thought you were dead, Eos. I know, but getting rid of me is harder than that. Besides, I can't leave you without a partner. Zeke laughs, his throat thick with emotion. I guess not. You slide down onto the bench, touching your shoulder against Zeke's. Marshals were created to defeat the void. It happened once before, we can do it again. That's true. Zeke, this is our destiny, and we're fulfilling it together. You're right. When I'm with you, anything feels possible. His knee bounces against yours under the table, and you watch his eyes drift to your lips. Wow, we're just throwing Zeke at us this week. Holy crap. You didn't take the next step. Yeah, you're right. Squeeze Zeke's shoulder and grin. I'd like you to have someone like you watching my back. With a purple glow spreading across his cheeks, Zeke smiles at you, any trace of sorrow disappearing from his face. Sometime later, you and Zeke are just finishing a meal of Keywheel when your internal VSS pings you with an alert. Admiral Demos just sent me a comm request. Don't worry, you're not in trouble. I got one too. He grins sheepishly. Guess I'm not used to an admiral summoning me. You're not alone. She intimidates most of the marshals. I'll patch it through so we can talk to her together. As the projection of Demos appears, you don a crooked smile. Hey, Demos, miss me? Got too long without seeing this face. Demos rolls her eyes and addresses you dryly. Or dryly, excuse me. I'm not used to seeing that word. Believe it or not, Marshal Alora, I can survive a few days without it. Oh, without it? She lets out a deep sigh and continues. I just spoke to Marshal Headquarters. Several planets have experienced attacks similar to the one on Matara. At first, they thought it would strike more government facilities, but recent intel has revealed their new target is the Marshals themselves. Why would they go after us now? Something clicks in your mind, and you mutter the martial hail under your breath. Together we eradicated the darkness, for it is up to us to keep the stars bright. It's referring to the void, isn't it? They're trying to eliminate us before history repeats itself. Admiral Demos folds her hands inside the sleeves of her robes, nodding slowly. That was the conclusion we came to as well. Many marshals have been sent to deal with these threats, but none have returned. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but a marshal team on Ikana has requested backup, and we're the closest to available. We leave in 10 minutes. Fight the void? I can't wait to take them down. This is personal. If they wanted a war with us, they've got one. I'll be right beside you. This is all our fight. Unfolding her arms, Deimos raises herself to full height and addresses both of you. Meet me in the hangar bay in 5. I'll meet you in your quarters in 1. You have 4 minutes. That was horrible. As she ends the comm and the projection disappears, Siki turns to you. With fear in his eyes, his voice is little more than a whisper. I'm not ready to die, Eos. You place your hands on his shoulders to comfort him, and you can feel his body shaking. You're not going to. I won't let that happen, I promise. "15 minutes later, the ocean stretches out before you as you hop out of the Marshall fighter into the shallow waters of Ikana. A fleet of void ships zooms overhead, bombing the delicate shell houses rising from the still blue depths in the distance. This is horrible. Screams echo across the water, and you see dozens of Ikana fleeing their homes, while others remain trapped inside as the flames consume them. All this to chase down 2 marshals? The Void have no regard for life. You may have fought their mercenaries on Atlas, but they weren't trained by the Void. These are soldiers. They've been brainwashed and tortured for years until driven to insanity. Defeating them won't be easy. Across the water, a voice calls out for you. Over here! We need help! The Marshal races through the water, carrying what appears to be her partner over her shoulder. Behind her, a group of Void soldiers are getting closer, eyes red of their masks glowing in the dim light. A nearby soldier glides over the surface of the water on hydro boots, nearly on top of you as he aims a spear towards your chest. Ah! Shield my face with my hands, dive underwater, shoot him with my gun. Dive underwater. You throw your body sideways, reaching out towards the water, and narrowly miss the tip of the spear as you splash into the shallows. Before the soldier can react, you yank over the controls to one of his hydro boots and rip open the wires. Good riddance. The hydro boots let out a burst of electricity and then send him flying backwards into one of the shell structures. He hits his head as he falls to the ground and instantly slumps into the water unconscious. Taking a look around, you see Ziki and Deimos each engaged in a battle with other Void soldiers. You're about to go to their aid when a young marshal drags herself over to you, struggling to carry your partner. Please help. She's dying, and I don't know how to save her. You look down at the blood seeping from the injured marshal's stomach. Let's get her out of the water and on a dry surface so we can take a closer look at her injury. Together, you manage to lift the dying marshal onto a low wall of one of the shell huts. Hang in there, Jupiter. You can't give up on me yet. Grab a handful of bandages from your utility belt and begin wrapping them around the wound. We've got to stop the bleeding. What did you say your name was? I didn't. It's Aquara. Aquari. I need you to press down here while A series of beeps interrupts you as Ion darts through the water towards you. And leaps up to electrocute a Void soldier about to attack you. Ah! Soldier falls to a heap at your feet. You look at your biodroid in amazement. Ion, you saved me. It climbs up your leg to rest on your shoulder, where it spreads out its arm, reenacting what happened. You adopting Ion saved you from injury. Good thing you didn't listen when I told you to stay in the ship. Ion nuzzles you affectionately. Okay, I mean, at this time, though, get someplace safe. It drops down into the water and begins paddling in the direction of your Marshal fighter ship, whistling along the way. As you turn back to the injured Marshal, you notice her chest isn't moving. You touch your fingers to her neck. Aquari, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but your partner's gone. No, no, no! A sob rips its way out of her throat, and she clings to her partner's body as she cries. You turn away, giving her privacy to grieve, but as you do, you know someone striding through the water in the distance. Is that, let me guess, General? Waving an arm above your head, you holler at him to catch his attention. Prince Barlow? Within seconds, he's altered his course and is standing before you, not appearing, out of breath in the slightest. Oh, hi. Why are you here?
Ah, Marshal Alara, the captain's brother. I knew it would be easy to find you.
What are you doing here? Did you see a future you could help us prevent? His eyes widen as a milky haze overtakes them.
There is no stopping the future. Whether it's a minute from now, or a day, a year, or a lifetime, it all ends the same. Death is the only certainty. It finds us in every path.
Okay, what are you saying? Are you trying to end this war and save lives? We can't surrender now. There's still so much to fight for.
The struggle never ends. And even if it does, there is another to take its place. We can't escape. For centuries I've watched the galaxy divide itself into pieces. Each side claiming they can bring peace. But they never do.
Just stop and think about it for just a minute. And Marlowe reaches behind his back and reveals a crossbow. You scramble for your gun, but he fires at your weapon before you can get a shot off. You watch it fly into the shallows. My MAI-87 looks space gun.
The moment has a dozen possibilities. In nearly every one, you fail.
A biohazardous waste container drops from a void ship in the sky, and Barlow aims the crossbow again. But this time the tip of the bolt burns with a bright red flame. As he reaches for the trigger, you follow his aim to a large shell house filled with civilians struggling to escape. Gaining the crossbow will help you now and in the future battles, and blah 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 blah. Ah, that's a nice crossbow, Chewie. Watching horror. Wait, stop! You reach your hand out trying to reason with Barlow, but it's too late. Flaming bolt strikes the biohazardous waste container as it touches the roof of the house, and the air is filled with cries of civilians are lost to the explosion. You didn't save lives with your crossbow, or with the crossbow.
We all came from the void, Marshal Alara, and soon you will return to it.
You lunge at Barlow, but he smacks the side of your head with the hard metal of the crossbow, sending you flying into the water. A trickle of blood runs down your forehead as gruff hand sees you. Yanking to your feet, you struggle to stay awake as one of the soldiers addresses Barlow. Oh! Barlow's on the enemy side. I actually did not see that coming. What do you want us to do with him?
Take him to my ship with the other marshals. They'll make a nice addition to tonight's entertainment.
Your head pounds as you squint through the blood coating your eyelashes to see Demo, Siki, and Aquari are all being hauled away by the Void soldiers. In your last seconds of consciousness, you manage to turn on your VSS tracking device, hoping that Nova will find you before it's too late. Okay. I did not see him being a bad guy. Like, chaotic neutral, and that one where he shot the thing, which is weird enough as it is. Sure. Which, why shoot the canister? If the canister was gonna fall on the house, regardless, why not just let it fall on the house? He was gonna kill the people anyway. But instead, he shot the thing, which caused the gas to expel sooner, and still go into the building and still kill them. That's so pointlessly stupid, it's not even funny. But, anyway. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. You know, besides some of the obvious derp holes, but at least what I do. How about that? Without further ado, please remember, it's free to press that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit the bell notification too so you can receive notifications Because, you know, YouTube doesn't like to send out notifications. You know, they're mean, you know? I'm sure some of you have noticed that. And head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. Without further ado, catch you all in the next video. Peace.